George is a very, very intelligent, very, very competent, very, very intense professionally. So given the opportunity, encouragement to build something, he just went right to it. Again, I think it was in his DNA.
George has an organizational skill level that's really next level. I think one of the reasons why George has been so successful in investment banking is that he just has a way of managing chaos that I think a lot of others, just have struggled with.
He leaves no stone unturned, and he will embrace any opportunity with all of his energy and all of his intellect.
So I went to Plano East Senior High School. Basically, I was a kid who was a real entrepreneur and not as focused on school as I should have been, but very focused on making money. I had lawn mowing businesses, I sold cinnamon toothpicks, I sold baseball cards, and ultimately, just became one of those kids that was always trying to make a buck. When I went to the University of Texas, my parents said that this was the best one to go to in Texas, particularly to study business. As soon as I got there, I knew it was the place I was going to be. Austin felt like home, UT felt like home, and it's really been the greatest thing I've ever done. What led me to investment banking after law school was I got to Wall Street. I was working in the M&A department at Skadden Arps, and I realized that the investment banking path is much more unstructured. It's much more entrepreneurial. It's more rewarding for people that are out there and kind of have no fear. You're rewarded not only for being excellent, but also having the guts to go out and pitch something that perhaps you had no business getting.
It was a whole new world on Wall Street today. The biggest one-day point drop ever. The airlines, insurance companies, and financial services were hit the hardest.
I got the job young, and the way I got it was after 9/11, a lot of folks basically left the profession and there was nobody else to do it. So someone said, who's gonna go call on these clients? And I just decided that I would do it. So I was 32, 33, 34 years old, calling on clients when my competitors were 10, 15, and 20 years older.
He was young, but he was able to build great relationships with his clients. He was able to kind of draft off of a lot of the work that he had done kind of leading up to him getting promoted. And he's just a very charismatic individual, and I think there's a lot of clients that just kind of gravitated towards him.
Probably my favorite small to medium-sized deal in my career was merging America West with U.S. Airways. U.S. Airways was in bankruptcy for the second time. America West was headed there, and this young management team came up with a business plan to merge the two together. And it was emerging from bankruptcy, IPO, merger all at once. It had never been done before, and it was incredible to be a part of it. It was a heck of a thing to be involved with as a kid. Well, the thing I really learned at Merrill Lynch was you got to build a good team, and so that means you got to attract and retain talent. You got to treat them with respect.
Look, investment banking is a team sport. Whether you're a partner or whether you're an analyst, the demands of the job and making sure that you're delivering for the clients, you really can only do that if you're operating as a fully functioning team. And George has been instrumental in demonstrating leadership and creating a team-led atmosphere.
Well, the reason I left Merrill and joined Evercore because Merrill, like a lot of firms, was basically in shambles. A couple of the competitor banks had been wiped off the face of the earth. Merrill merged with Bank of America, and it just changed. So I decided to, take a fresh look and see what was out there. I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to be close to my clients. I wanted to be away from any type of bureaucracy and to really run a practice the way I saw fit. And Evercore was the one that was really a simple choice.
We were looking to grow the firm, and we had valued and trusted partner who knew him at Merrill. And when I asked the question, if you could hire one person, who would that be? And he, without hesitating, said, George.
The first days at Evercore were great. 9 of my colleagues from Merrill Lynch made the decision to come to Evercore at the same time and establish ourselves as a go-to place for transportation companies that needed someone that was independent.
I think this was a perfect environment for him to build something from scratch because there really was no transportation business. He and his colleagues built it from scratch.
The most important thing you have is your reputation. One mistake can wreck it forever, but as you make the right decision over and over and over and over again, the word gets out.
George has always been a tremendous friend to me. We've been, best friends for 18, 19 years. My wife was sick a number of years ago. He was there for me, rallied the firm around us as a family. He's the godfather to one of my daughters. He's always been a part of my family.
He came to New York, really kind of from Texas, not knowing anybody. Went to a big firm, established his imprint and his reputation and his mark. Came to Evercore, has done the same.
In 19 years, not much has changed about George. I mean, he's got some more gray hair. He's a little bit fitter now that he's obsessed with CrossFit, but really outside of that, he's the same person that I met in 2002 and down in Austin.
For his entrepreneurial achievements in investment banking while remaining true to himself and his coworkers, George Ackert deserves a place in the McCombs Hall of Fame.